Hello, my name is Deirdre Eberhardt, and today we're going to talk about self-esteem. So what qualifies me to talk about self-esteem? I am a licensed clinical social worker, and what that means is I'm a therapist and I work with folks with anxiety, depression, and other issues related to mental health. So a lot of times when people come to me and say, I have really low confidence in myself, I have bad self-esteem, I'm just always down on myself, I actually ask them about, what their daily schedule is like. What do you do on a day-to-day basis? Who do you hang around? And a lot of times people say that they hang around others who are not very nice to them. And so how we feel about ourselves often reflects in the people that we spend time with, because if we don't feel good about ourselves, we're not going to be comfortable around people who are going to be nice to us. As sad as that sounds, that's true. So it starts with you. It starts with being kind to yourself, and then you'll start demanding that from others. And that comes with its own transitional issues, but taking those steps toward that is a positive thing in the long run, even though it causes some short-term stress. So that's a big thing with self-esteem. Those who surround you, they're pretty much reflecting right back to you who you are. And so if who you are is somebody who has low self-esteem, they're just going to throw that right back at you because that's what they're used to doing. So the idea is to get them unused to it so that you can start living a life where you have higher confidence, higher self-esteem. So the other portion of self-esteem and confidence that I help people work with is planning and using a calendar and just holding yourself accountable for things. And it might sound like an odd transition from motivation, productivity to confidence and self-esteem, but it makes complete sense. Because if you keep telling yourself that you're going to do something and then you don't follow through, well, that's like another hit to you where it feels like, well, I can never do anything, and it's kind of like confirming what you already believe about yourself. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what I have people do is I have people, instead of writing an extensive list of 30 things or 50 things or even just 10 things, that's so much to do. So what you can do instead is you can write your extensive list because you want to remember those things, but then put it away in a drawer, and you can draw from that list and just write down 3 things for the day that you definitely are going to do. These are 3 non-negotiable items on your list, and you keep it easy to start with. So, number 1, call the bank. Number 2, get up and shower. Number 3, something else that's fairly simple, but something that does take some effort. It could be anything. It could be household chores to work-related things to family-related things. It doesn't matter what it is. The idea is that you get those things checked off, because every time you check something off, you get a little bit more confidence. You actually have some dopamine releasing in your brain. It's important because then when you get to the 3rd item, you're starting to build some confidence, even if it's just a little bit of confidence in those smaller things that you're doing. That helps build momentum toward the next thing. So for me, it's really hard for me to pay bills. I hate paying bills. So I say to myself, I'm just going to pay 1 bill. At least if I pay 1 bill a day for 7 days, then at the end of 7 days, all of them are paid. So I pay the first one, and then I'm already sitting at the desk where all the other ones are. So then I pay the second one, and I'm like, you know what? I'm on a roll, and that kind of gets momentum going. So sometimes that happens. The other way it can go is you only do the 3 things, which is okay. If you are holding yourself accountable for the 3 things and you're feeling so bad that day, you can at least say, I did those 3 things, and now I don't have to feel about doing nothing else for the rest of the day. You are giving yourself permission to do that. And that's a big deal, because a lot of times when you lay around all day, you don't get anything done, you feel worse about yourself. So if you get those 3 things done, check it off, you are successful for the day. So that brings me to calendar planning. Calendar planning is basically what I say is think it, do it. So if you see something, get it done, and then those things that you can't get done, you place on your calendar. So if you say to yourself, I need to call my brother, or I need to call my friend. If you don't know when you can do that, or if you feel like you're procrastinating because you don't want to get around to it, place it on the calendar, put a time on it. And then so for instance, when you go to your physical calendar, or like I do, I use my phone calendar, it's in there. If I don't remember what I'm supposed to be doing, I go right to it. It basically tells me what to do, so I don't have the stress of trying to think of all the things that I need to do. And remember that extensive list that I was talking about that you put away in your drawer? You can put 3 items a day into the calendar. So that way you have a plan of what to do for the week or the month, or however long that you want to do that. Now, I wouldn't plan too far ahead with that extensive list, because you don't want to make a plan that you don't stick to. Make sure if you make a plan, it's something that you can definitely do, and not just a pie in the sky thing that you wish that you can do. Keep it reasonable, because you don't want to do 80 things in one day and then not want to do anything for the rest of the 2 months that are going to go by. We kind of binge on productivity, and then we forget about it because that's what we do when we're stressed. That's almost like how we were taught to do it, because we get these pockets of time and we get really into it, but we exhaust ourselves mentally, physically, and however else, emotionally. So put those things in the calendar and do them just a couple at a time. So those are my productivity and mindset tips for planning, for self-esteem, for confidence. Use these tips well. Only place the things on your list if you know it's something that you can do. Build that confidence, build that momentum. This is Deirdre Eberhardt. Thank you so much.